All right, guys, my name is Dr. Sharnael Wolverton Sehon. Super excited. Can you tell I'm excited to talk about a very hot topic, apparently, the blackout for the Schumann. I have a previous video where I talk about the whiteout of the Schumann, and we can talk about that too. I will talk a little bit about Schumann overall, how it affects us, how it affects our bodies, what we can do to override this, and how it affects the earth. Um, some people may not be familiar with Schumann at all. So we're going to talk about all of it, all the stuff Schumann today, whiteouts, blackouts, how it affects us, how we can support ourselves in the middle of this. So welcome tonight. This is kind of ad lib and happy to do this because apparently a lot of questions going on about what is Schumann. And I did this teaching with Laura Eisenhower and Neil and a bunch of other people for this last online thing, but apparently there's a lot of questions about it with what is happening right now, because this has never happened in my lifetime, of where we're now on our 6th day of a complete void blackout. So let's dive into this a little bit. So Schumann, basically there was a guy named Otis Schumann who discovered that the earth had its own biofield. So every living thing, plants, animals, anything with that's alive, actually has this aura, biofeedback. Bio electromagnetic sphere that is around us. You've seen this on even old artwork paintings where there's kind of like this hue over people or something is specifically around their head or their whole body. This can actually be picked up now on camera, and they have all kinds of technology now that actually can see it around people, around plants or whatever. And they can even see where one will like siphon off another person, which we're experiencing quite a bit of here. Whether you see it or not, it's happening. There are certain people who cannot generate their own energies and radiation, therefore they live off other people's, which isn't the best and the highest. Yeah. So, anyway, this guy Schumann found out that the Earth actually had a field as well, and it's 7.83 hertz, which most healthy adults are in the 9 to 16 range, and in megahertz they're 67. So in hertz 9 to 16, and the Earth is 7.83. So we all have this energy, and that number can change and go up and down, and it actually can be measured. Anything that can be measured can be supported and managed. So I do a lot of soul readings where I can see what someone's radius is, what their width is, how far around their actual field is, and we can find where they are in the map of consciousness to see how they are affecting everyone with that field. So that's kind of interesting. But when Schumann found out about this, what they did, I don't remember the date or the time, but they put these measuring tools in different places throughout the earth to actually be able to measure this hertz in the planet. And it wasn't until the OJ situation happened, if any of you guys remember, where OJ was doing his thing and then he ran off, and like all eyes and all focus of the media were literally a collective focus, I guess you could say, all looking at this Bronco, this white Bronco specifically, that was driving down the road and all these police cars following or whatever because he was trying to get away or whatever. Anyway, but there was a mass amount of people all watching at once. And this is one of the first times where media was found out that it can actually change some things. And so when this happened and there was that mass focus of the collective all looking and watching something the same, what they saw is these generators had shifts in frequency on the entire planet. So which comes first, the chicken or the egg? Meaning, what makes the energy of the earth change? The earth can have its own groanings and or energy, of course. The people on the earth all have an energy. Therefore, if we are heightened, we can actually change the earth energy. And also when there's a collective force where all that information and or focus is towards one thing or one focus, and there's a lot of people involved, that can actually increase the earth resonance as well. So everything is frequency, everything is energy, and it's just a matter of harnessing that and using it for our good, and our best and our highest. So this happened with not only the OJ thing, it also happened with Princess Diana's wedding and her funeral. It also, there was a big jump for 9/11. I mean, there was a huge mass one. And actually what's interesting is every single time that one of these events happened, it was like the earth or the people on the collective actually knew something was happening before it happened, because it's always a little bit ahead of the actual event that the earth was already having an increase in frequency. Kind of interesting. Now they've done experiments also with heart math, where they would have a person go in a booth and there was a screen and they were hooked up to all kinds of stuff with their EEGs, EKGs, and all of that to measure not only the brain calculations and or chemistry, serotonin, dopamine, what have you, but also radiation, and then the heart as well. And what they've noticed is they were trying to see what sees first or what feels first, the head or the heart. And they actually thought that the heart would win. I mean, the head would win, but it was the heart. So every time they would show something on the screen, these people in this experiment, seconds before an image would come on, the heart would already know something was coming. So let's say they showed something happy and joyous and puppies and cute kittens, there would be an ease in the body and ease in the chemical serotonin, dopamine, and then also ease in frequency. Versus then they would show like snakes attacking, and right before there would be a fright or a fight or flight response. And it was always seconds just before the image showed. So somehow the heart actually knew before the brain, and also that even the eyes could see before the senses could literally pick up. There was some sort of sense that also came through before and felt in the heart before the brain, which is kind of interesting. Same thing with these generators all over the world. Before the actual events happened, there was like this precursor, like somehow knowing of something was coming up, which is kind of interesting. I think that it would be, you know, several hours before an event, something would happen. So now the reason why I'm talking about any of this is because you can get this app on your phone. I'm going to show it to you. If you just go to the App Store, and you can actually just look up what it is every single day. Just go to the App Store and type in Schumann. That is, oh gosh, let's see a picture of what it looks like. That's it right there. It just has that little thing. If you just type in Schumann, and then you can track it every day and see what's going on. But yeah, some of the side effects of when there is a heightened Schumann, which we have been in such a heightened Schumann in the last 6 days that we're literally in a void or a blackout, which I'm going to explain in a second. Never, ever, ever have we had a blackout, you know, over maybe an hour or two, let alone days. So that's interesting. But so whiteouts, let me show you what a whiteout would look like. This is the earth, this little picture or whatever, 4.83 hertz. Okay, so here we go. This is just a picture I was going to show you of what to look for. So this would be a detection screen. I got this from Caroline Boudreau. Actually, she sent it to me. And this is how I kind of started looking at this stuff. And when I was teaching the class, I kept looking at 9.5 and 9.6. And I kept going, why is it saying 9.6 and 9.5? That I couldn't, because normally it has the current date on here. And it wasn't until just yesterday I realized it's because nothing is registered since then. Like nothing is even registered. But anyway, going back to this, you see these white up and down streaks. Those are considered whiteouts. And when you see them, just little tiny skinny things that go all the way down. These are the hours at the bottom, and it shows the hours, 24 hours in a day. It's all military time. And then the date is at the top, and it's again military. So we're not looking at May 9th. We're looking at September 5th and September 6th in this one specifically. But when you see the whiteout, that means there has such a surge or such a giant surge of energy or frequency on the earth that it actually caused the earth to spike in frequency. all the way. And it looks like there's several spikes here that go all the way down. And if you look even past in the next part of it, you can see sometimes hours have gone by. And in this case, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours of a whiteout, almost complete whiteout. And others, it's just maybe a few minutes or maybe a half an hour or something. So when we have these surges, there are side effects that go on in the physical body, in technology, and what have you. And then when you have a blackout, this is what's a blackout over here on the right, where it's just completely black. Nothing is going on. Let me see. This is actually today's, me pulling up today. So it goes back all the way to May 4th. I mean, September 4th, September 5th, and September 6th. And here we are, still nothing has registered since September the 6th, meaning the machine is so, there's such a high frequency going on that it's not readable. It's not measurable. And it's been days. It's been so heightened, days have gone by that the machine could not register the amount of frequency that's hitting the earth right now. So some of the side effects, and then I'm going to talk about the benefits as well, because we can use these energies for our highest, or we can let them just run amok. And if you're not aware of it, you just think that you're having really bad days. But yes, so some of the side effects could be extreme nervous anxiety. Like it really affects the nervous system of your physical body when we have these surges. Again, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? It can be the collective of what's going on in the earth right now, where there is just this, heightened increased energy because of things like Mercury is in retrograde for the 3rd time right now. We have a full moon right now. We also have some solar flares going on. We have the death of the Queen, which is big. And, in the past, like I've said, when Diana passed or the wedding or what have you, there was a surge. Now, there wasn't a blackout, but, I think all of these things together have caused this blackout. So, again, solar flares, the moon, retrograde, 9/11 is a biggie because people have heightened times of just trauma in the body, things that have happened to their family. And then also the news loves to take the collective focus back to the buildings happening and all the stuff over and over and over again. So it does like a trauma loop for people who watch the news to have to go back and relive it, because this is your frontal lobe, your limbic system is behind that. Your limbic system can't tell the difference between if something's really happening in real life or if it's just an image. And when they show these images over and over again, they're re-traumatizing whoever is engaged in that, and the body will have side effects to mirror that. So yeah, so heart palpitations, insomnia, some people can be nauseous, definitely irritability, short fuse, anger, irritability, just maybe a little bit more triggered than normal, very emotional. You can have blood pressure issues, ringing ears, extreme fatigue. There can be outages in actual technology, which I've been having all kinds of stuff going on. I don't know if any of you have had IT issues, but I mean, people have been forgetful. There's memory stuff can be a situation too. Vertigo, I mentioned. So yeah, lots of those things on the negative side of what can happen. And if you're not aware, and you're having some of these or all of these or even 5% of these, you could actually just feel super crazy. Like, why am I having a breakdown? Why am I, why is everything stressing me out extra hard? Not me, cancel, but whoever. And so if you're not aware, I think knowledge is power. And the more you know, oh, well, this isn't just me by chance. This is like stuff's going on in the world. Like this is, you being an empath, or you just feeling it more. So the heart math people have suggested that there's certain groups of people that have a little bit harder time dealing with these energy surges. Children, people who are pregnant, older people, and definitely empaths, people who just have a sensitivity to energies in general anyway, which we are all electric beings. So there is a sensitivity automatic just because you are electric. So you are going to feel electric things. Your animals will, your plants will, your actual computers will. So there's going to be side effects of those things. So, but yes, those things are felt. They're real. It's not your imagination. This is actual. So again, we've had whiteouts, and sometimes a whiteout may go for a minute or two, and then you're just like right back in, and you may have like a little hiccup in anxiety or weather change or IT stuff or nervous stuff or sleep or vertigo or whatever. But then you kind of like go, oh, okay. And you like overcompensate, you make up for it, you figure it out, you integrate, you balance. But when it is a whiteout for several hours, that is another story that your body has to now recoup from that a bit more. And, or if you're especially sensitive to that. And when you have a blackout for 6 days, this is serious. This could be a lot of different things. Now, on the positive side of these things, whether it's a whiteout or a blackout or any kind of surge or any kind of solar flare or anything, whether it's externally coming in or something that's created from the people who run the news stations or just actual stuff going on in the world, we can use this for our benefit. And the way that we use it for a benefit is the way trauma is stored. It's right in your DNA. Everybody has a signature code package that is in their DNA, and that's what sends out a radiation into your field. So you can have lower numbers in your field. You're going to collect negative things and or lower numbers, or you can have higher radiation and collect some things that are higher. When these surges happen, the trauma in your DNA actually surfaces, and it gives us the option to either deal with it and move it out or to push it back in. If you are going to push it back in or deny it or just like, hey, I'm good, and kind of trying to pretend like things aren't, things are good even though they're not, and just like, whatever, deny yourself, push things down, suppress, depress, all those things that aren't so great, those are going to go right back into the body, and then they're going to stay dormant and may cause signals later, which could be even bigger and louder and message until you deal with them. So, but if these surges cause them to go up and you're able to go, you know what, I'm feeling crazy, or I'm feeling sad, or I'm feeling grief, or maybe some memories pop up of specific things that have happened in your past or whatever, those are great, awesome times for us to look at what has happened and to love yourself right where you are, to experience the feeling and to invite it to get bigger, and then just acknowledge it. And because acknowledging it and feeling the hell out of it literally that's the thing that's going to transmute it. So if we can just be honest and have an authentic conversation with our higher self and go, oh, you know what, this is how I'm feeling, and have that conversation. When you acknowledge it, it basically squashes it, transmutes that within the DNA, and leaves more room for God. So just owning it and taking responsibility. And now I use the example of, let's say your friend or family member did something terrible to you, and you had to you go and talk to them, and you're like, hey, whenever you did this really bothered me. And they came back and they were like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. What can I do to fix it? I will never do that again. And just like open to you, your body's going to instantly relax because somebody owned what they did and they didn't realize it. It was a total accident, and they're fixing it. They acknowledge you, they love you, they own the situation, they're being responsible and taking a responsible action to fix it. Now, if they totally ignore what you're saying and go, oh, that's your problem, you're just too sensitive, and kind of make it like something's wrong with you and that you don't have the right to have those feelings, then that's going to get awkward when you have to go be around that person, because then you're going to maybe either be authentic and keep being upset with them and like just continue to show it every time you're around that person, or you're going to maybe dodge that person and not hang around them anymore, or you are going to just like, you know, suck it up, buttercup, and go hang out and be at the family reunion, even though you're pretending everything's fine, which takes a lot of energy to quote lie, because you're not being authentic and you're just trying to be peaceful, right? So, but that takes a lot of energy, and it doesn't help your body relax because you're basically ignoring your actual feelings. This is how your feelings are in your body. When you deny yourself of those actual feelings, it's just like pretending that everything's fine with those other people. And if you can just own it and say, you know what, this is what I feel, this is how I feel, and then like cry or allow whatever needs to come out. Some things will not detox any other way except for tears. And when you can just own it and be okay, or talk to someone that you trust and love and just say, you know what, this is going on, can I just say this out loud? Sometimes that's a good way just to transmute it. Now, I'm not talking about talking about it, because then this limbic system, again, doesn't know the difference between real and not real. And you could traumatize yourself by continuing to talk about it without the intention of actually transmuting it. If it's just to talk about, to be negative and to cause everybody to get entrained into your own negativity, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about having a honest adult conversation with someone who will hear you, someone who loves you, someone who sees you in your best, who will just experience whatever you need to say out loud. And then, you know, it's like, okay, we did that. We're good. We don't talk about it anymore because it's cleared and you're good. You have acknowledged your own feelings. You've transmuted it and it's moved on. So we can use all of these energies in our advantage by allowing whatever does come up to just be very kind to yourself, to be very loving towards yourself, to have unconditional love, meaning you love yourself even if you're pissed off, you love yourself even if you're crying, you love yourself even if you hate, all that, whatever comes up, that you just love yourself anyway, because that is actual unconditional love, versus conditional love, which is I only love myself when I'm not angry, when I don't hate, when I don't have a feeling, right? So just loving yourself exactly where you are and being okay with it is the best way to transmute it. Now, what are some ways that we can work with the energies with moving things out and transmuting things? Especially if you are in the category that the heart math people explained, might have a little bit more certain people groups that might have a little more sensitivities, like again, children, pregnant, older people, or empaths, those kind of people. So that's probably you guys, one of those in that group. A lot of people that I work with and a lot of people on my channel are very, very empathic. They're very awake. They're very conscious. So someone who's very conscious of the energies would be very susceptible to maybe having more issues if you're not really dealing with it and not aware that these things are going on. So what are some things that we can do to help maneuver and manage some of the crazy frequencies that are going on in the earth right now? Number one, magnesium baths. You can just do a bunch of magnesium or just a regular bath, water in general, showers, those kind of things. Something about water just helps move things out and helps us cope and deal with our nervous system a little bit better. Also, magnesium can just relax your muscles to kind of give a little more ease no matter what is going on, and just help you roll with whatever's happening. Lots of rest. You may feel like you need to sleep more, go with it. If you feel like you need to sleep, just sleep. You know, take an extra nap, sleep in every now and then. Don't beat yourself up because you're not doing extra and just full on in this minute. Also be very, very aware of diet. This is not the time to like have 15 sodas and coffees a day. Not a good fit. Caffeine and coffee in general is going to just go right in with anxiety and fear and all this other stuff that's mass going on, and help like work a little bit more to keep things a little bit intense for you. So maybe just making sure you're very, very hydrated. Drink lots of water during this time, because water is a great conduit for electrical. So if you're just trying to keep things moving and just stay hydrated and keep the body intact. Essential oils are a biggie. Crystals help. You know, anything that you could do, massage, lymphatic, infrared, taking walks, go outside, be in nature, get freaking grounded, take your shoes off and step in the sand or the dirt or the grass or whatever your situation is. Get as grounded as possible. I know that's kind of like oxymoron. How do you get grounded in the earth? That's a higher frequency than is normally. You can still have a chemical hormonal response just by your feet touching the earth. That will help calm things down so much. So meditation, prayer, I mentioned infrared sauna, essential oils. There's so many different things that we can do. Juicing is really good. Reiki, you know, prayer, like I said, talk, even calling a friend. So I hope that this was extremely helpful. Again, we can have outside things going on in actual galaxies that are affecting the earth as a whole, and or it can be the people on the earth who are having an experience, especially if it's motivated by some agenda with the news to divert and or send a clear pathway of focus for the collective to all go in one direction. Hashtag the queen dying or whatever political things going on in the world, which, by the way, we did have a blackout when a certain former president was invaded. That also caused a blackout because they know what they're doing, and they know that this affects everybody when one person is targeted, especially someone that a lot of people love and or hate. There's just this polarization of that kind of stuff. So 7.83 hertz, we are 9.16 hertz on a healthy adult day, or 67 megahertz. So take some of these things to heart. Be aware, share this, get it out there. There may be people who just have had all kinds of things going on and they don't realize that they're just really irritable because of what's going on, or maybe their fuse is a little shorter than normal, or they're just not able to take on any extra work or any extra thing, or they're just feeling overwhelmed or extra tired. All those things would be 100% what's going on. And again, in my lifetime, I've never seen a blackout more than a day, let alone 6 days straight. That it cannot even be measured. Again, this is a huge time in history between the combinations of the moon, the 9/11 situation, solar flares, Mercury in retrograde for the 3rd time, a full moon, and the death of a queen, all in this it's like a convergence shitstorm, basically, of energy going on in the earth right now. And maybe you are affected and maybe you're not. But if you are, at least it's good to be aware of it and to know some of the ways that we can work with these energies to let us be in a better position of love, of radiating life and love and helping, supporting other people who may not be getting through this very well. And just being very kind to yourself and to your friends and to your family, and just being a little more forgiving when people are kind of reactive or trolly or whatever, and just be like, you know what, this is a good time just to be like, maybe pull back a little bit and take some me time, read, meditate, relax, and hope this is helpful. So thank you for all of your love, and thank you for everything with the trolls and the different people who've been like super crazy at this moment. I love you so much. Please do share and get this out, because I think this will be very helpful for people who really don't know that something real is going on, and they're just talking themselves up as feeling crazy. And then what happens is, if people feel crazy, sometimes they act on it. They try to dumb it down and dumb down all the feelings by doing drugs, alcohol, and different things that will kind of numb them out. Not a good thing when we can use these energies to actually move things up and out once and for all, and bring us to a higher consciousness and get us to be in a better position to help other people and be in better service of love and truth to as many people as possible. So go to swiftfire.org. You can get my books there. I have tons, like 5 books now. I have my card deck. I have all kinds of teachings on different things. I do soul audits, biofeed scans, which would really help in these energies, by the way. If you are trying to override some of this, a biofeedback scan right now would be extremely helpful to help kind of like leverage what is being used right now and what's going out there, to leverage it towards your higher map of consciousness, and to bring things up. And to kind of spike some of the stuff out of your organs, so they're not stuck in organs that can cause dis-ease later, but instead they come up to move out, and then you don't have to deal with any kind of dis-ease later on. So I think that's it. If you have any questions, go ahead and just put your questions up here. I'd be happy to look them over the next day or so and answer any questions that you guys have. And I think that's my last slide, but yes, that was my last slide. Love you guys. And yes, Amber, Ali, Danielle, Grace, lots of great people. Loving you guys so much, and have a good night. All right, bye.